Oh, I'm going to teach you a very valuable lesson this weekend. You can be 100% sovereign, or you can be 100% a slave. If you think you're sovereign and you're somewhere on this line, you're making a claim that you ain't. When you haven't done the steps necessary, those are the guys you see on YouTube. They're screaming that they're sovereign, and not one of them sent an affidavit of repudiation to the Secretary of State and got their passport to reflect that status. I guarantee it. Because people who do, they don't want in court. Because they have limited diplomatic immunity as per the Geneva Convention, they don't want me in the courtroom. He has said, don't bring him in here. He costs us too much money. So I bill my public servants, so sometimes I have to go to Washington State. Every time I go to Washington State, I get pulled over. I offer them my passport. I give them a way out. This is their ticket out. This is the ticket that doesn't cost them a thing. Can I have your driver's license, proof of insurance, and registration, please? I said, is this my opportunity to teach? I said, you know, in the RCW, I have every right to travel and hand you a passport, and I don't need a driver's license. And he said, I want it anyway. Well, that's a little bit of a mistake for him because it just cost him 10 grand.
Speaking about a people that is known for erasing history, erasing names, and then writing themselves into histories, and then taking over the names of ancient African culture and people. Like for instance, they have something called Greek gods, and you start looking up these Greek gods, and they're literally Hellenized African gods. So they're known for, erasing history, putting themselves inside of history and changing the names of things. Names are associated with clans of people, which means it's associated with an ancestral line and a bloodline. So if you can make somebody forget their name, potentially the first thing they do is forget their name, you change their name, then they can't trace back their history and who they are as a people. Well, history and who you are as a people is a part of a culture, and a culture is a part of your identity, it's a part of your language, it's a part of the land and the soil that you was birthed from. So if you forget your name and you don't know where you come from, then you don't know who you are. And if you don't know where you come from and who you are, then how do you know where you're going? So a people like us, so-called black people, who are called melanin people, since we have lost our heritage, since we have lost our history, our land, and our name, that should be our only sole purpose here in this existence, is to find that name, to trace it back where it come from. Then we can reestablish our history and our culture. Because again, if you don't know where you come from, then how do you know where you're going? Your culture and your name is what gives you purpose. If you don't have an identity, then your only sole purpose is to find out who you are. Then after that, you will develop the purpose based on your identity. So name is everything. Where you come from is everything.